taking this money, but it wasn't yours. It wasn't yours.
This sentencing involves a significant breach of trust. The court has to weigh what happened against some very real complications and how the sentence would play out. Watch how that unfolds. My name is Dan. This is the Courtroom Files.
7408 FH, time of day set for sentencing. Ms. Clark is present, represented by Attorney Dallas L. Rooney. People are represented by Prosecuting Attorney Timothy J. Rakowski. Back on March 9th of this year, the defendant entered a no contest plea to embezzlement, $50,000 to $100,000. Ms. Karen Everland's prepared the pre-sentence report dated April 20th of this year. Mr. Rooney, have you and your client had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence report?
We have, Your Honor.
Are there any additions, deletions, corrections, or objections to the report?
None of the report and none to the guidelines either.
Thank you. Ms. Clark, do you agree with that? Mr. Rakowski, any objection to the report as well as guidelines?
No, Your Honor. Do you have a question?
Mr. Rooney, anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client before the court imposes a sentence?
Yes, Your Honor. My client's 49 years old, virtually no criminal history. She had a DV deferral 23 years ago and a trespassing 15 years ago. Born, raised, lived her whole life here in the Thumb. Graduated from Akron Fairgrove. She worked for the ambulance board for 17 years. As far as the embezzlement itself goes, I think she pled no contest, but the narrative, I think, speaks for itself and lays out what happened. I would point out too that she was totally forthcoming with law enforcement when the detective interviewed her, admitted what had happened. So once they asked her, she was more than willing to say what she did, what happened in this case. With regard to the recommendation, we're asking you to adopt it. It did circulate some medical reports regarding her health, one of which
acknowledges.
Incidentally, one report is from the doctor who had some kind of contract with our jail, coincidentally. According to that doctor's office, that they believe that incarceration would impact her treatment plan and jeopardize her safety and well-being. Based on some kind of rare neural deficiency, I guess. So we would respectfully request home confinement or something along those lines with Tether, so that she can continue to do these medical appointments and treatments that happen periodically. As far as her addressing the court, I think she will address you briefly, but due to the no contest, she's really not going to get into the facts and circumstances.
Thank you. Ms. Clark, apparently you wish to address the court. You may.
I just wanted to say I'm really sorry for the terrible judgment I made. I'm trying to rectify that.
How do you plan to rectify what appears to be $146,000?
I plan on it until fair.
Thank you. Mr. Rakowski, anything on behalf of the people? This is a victim's rights case as well.
Mr. Honor, looking at the guidelines are 12 to 24. The recommendation for incarceration time is 320 days, which is below that. And I don't believe there's any circumstances that justify a departure downward. I would point out, as the court mentioned, it's $146,000 that the taxpayers from Seedling Township area are out. It just seems like I know the court has to fashion a sentence, and you're asked by Mr. Rooney to do home confinement because of the health concerns. I totally understand that. However, people that are out in the community see that 146,000 is missing from their township, the city, and so home confinement just doesn't seem to be enough, Your Honor. I would ask the court to fashion a fair and just sentence, understanding that, there are other people that watch what happens and they say, okay, well, you took 146,000 and this is what your sentence is. So they'd be looking at that part of it. I believe it's deterrence is probably the biggest part in this case, Your Honor. So we would ask you to fashion a fair and just sentence with that in mind.
Trusted public official working for an entity that is vital to the community. We are fortunate to have an ambulance services across our county that we have individuals that go out there, do the work, don't receive a ton of pay. Some are volunteers. And the whole idea is to protect our community in the event that we need someone called. And Seawood Township, which covers the village of Seawood as well, if we don't have an ambulance service, we're not helping our residents. And this entity needs to be properly funded. And to be properly funded, we take tax dollars, hardworking Americans, hardworking people in the area, in the village and the township of Seawood, that have to pay that bill for public service. And to see someone over the course of a few years basically take away $146,000. It's unheard of. It's truly unheard of. This kind of reminds me of a case a number of years ago that actually I was assigned on an appeal. And I think this you probably know the case. The lady that was on the west side of the county. I can't think of her name, but Judge Knobloch sentenced her to a significant amount of time. And I was assigned on an appeal for her. And I'm not going to mention the name, but the dollar figures were just through the roof, just like this one. She eventually went to prison. She went to prison. And the guideline range here is 12 to 24 months. And the court has reviewed the medical information. And it appears that there is a potential issue. But then the court can say, you know what, we're not going to put it on the county dime. We'll just send you to prison. Let the state pay for it. But we still pay for that as well. It's a no-win situation for the county. It's a no-win situation for the township. It's a no-win situation for the defendant. Other than, I don't know the reason or the understanding here of taking this money, but it wasn't yours. It wasn't yours. And we as public officials, whether it be the prosecutor's office, Department of Corrections, the sheriff's office, the court, we're entrusted with these dollars. And we make sure that they're not wasted, pilfered, thrown away, embezzled. Here they were embezzled to the tune of $146,000. And as an individual living in the township or living in the village, it puts a pit in your stomach like, how in the world can that happen? But it did. And it needs to be addressed. I don't know what an appropriate sentence would be at the end of the day for this. I know what an appropriate sentence would be under normal circumstances. Punishment, deterrence, rehabilitation, all those factors play into it. But just taking all that money and running with it for whatever reason has to be addressed, and it has to send a message. Guideline range as stated is 12 to 24 months, which means that the court could sentence to prison. The court could impose county jail time, but at a minimum of 12 months. And the court has steadfast tried its very best to stay within the guideline range to provide consistency. And the reason for that is it doesn't matter whether you come in as some bright and shining star, or you come in as a regular individual or someone who is below regular individual, you treat the people the same. You have to. Because that's what the court is all about. We're blind, Lady Justice is blind for a reason, blindfolded, I should say. Because it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. This is a lot of money to pay back. And I appreciate the comments of the defendant indicating that some way, somehow, she's gonna have to pay it back. I don't know how you're going to do that, but it's gotta be paid back. Simple as that. As a result, the court is going to order, in this case, the defendant be placed on a term of probation for 5 years, not 3 years, 5 years. The reason behind the maximum amount of probation here is to assure that some sort of method can be come upon that is going to take care, or at least get this restitution figure down. Conditions of probation include the standard conditions: not to violate any criminal unit of government, not to leave the state of Michigan without prior approval of the court, notifying the probation agent at least monthly or such times and places the agent may require. Court will also order that the Thinking Matters program be completed. You are to waive confidentiality and allow any treatment programs you're required to attend and disclose that information to the agent. No assault of abusive, threatening, or intimidating behavior. No written, verbal, electronic, or physical contact with anyone housed within an MDOC facility without permission of the agent. Likewise, communication with anyone that's engaging in behavior that constitutes a violation of any criminal law of government. She's not to use any object as a weapon, nor own, use, or have under control a weapon of any type. Can't even possess an imitation weapon. Can't be around anyone that possesses those items. She's to contact the supervising field agent no later than the first business day following her placement on probation or release from jail. Comply with all written and verbal orders of the field agent. Allow the agent to your residence at any time of probation supervision where you're subject to a search of your person and property, including but not limited to your home, vehicle, or computer, without the need of a warrant if the agent is reasonable cause you of items that violate the terms of your probation. Any arrest or police contact, loss of employment, or change of residence must be reported to probation within 24 hours. You must not work in a position where you have direct control or access to another person's money. You are to make genuine efforts as best you can to find and maintain legitimate employment, minimum of 30 hours per week, unless engaged in alternative programs approved by the Department of Corrections. And all the rules that follow along with that. Restitution, $146,000. I'm sorry, $146,007.31. That's payable to Sealing Township. You are to execute a wage assignment and pay that restitution if you are employed and miss 2 regularly scheduled payments. Crime victims assessment of $130, probation supervision fee $30 per month regular, $60 electronic, court's waiving attorney fees, DNA testing of $60, state cost of $68. Probation is authorized and empowered under statute to effect your apprehension, detention, and confinement of up to 72 hours on reasonable cause you violate the terms and conditions of your probation. If referred, you must successfully complete any PA 511 programming based upon eligibility. Finally, you shall serve 365 days in the county jail. That's pursuant to the guidelines with no days credit. How the court is going to do that is as follows. It sounds like there are medical issues and medical appointments that will be done during the week. She is to report to the jail Friday at 6 o'clock, serve weekends, be released Monday morning at 6 a.m. During the week, she's to be fitted with an electronic tether that allows home arrest only. She's not to be going anywhere except medical appointments or what the department deems is appropriate. In the event, and no disrespect, health gets better, which we hope it does, then the tether is gone. You're going to serve your time in the jail. The point here is the court is balancing the medical condition with the nature of the crime. This is a serious crime. And it's not easy to fashion a sentence when you have an individual with these medical issues because, you know, I hate to say, but it comes down to dollars and cents as well. For instance, if we place her in the county jail or even send her to prison, and these medical conditions need to be addressed, either the county or the state is on the dime to pay for that. We've already lost enough money. We don't need to lose any more money. And yes, it comes down to dollars and cents at the time, but your freedom is going to be impacted in a very significant way. You're going to get a taste of the county jail as well. There are no doctor appointments normally over the weekends. So that is the sentence of this court. It's my duty to inform you of the right to seek leave to appeal. If you're financially unable to provide counsel of your own choice, court will provide counsel for you at public expense. Please initial the receipt questionnaire form requesting the assignment of counsel, both of which must be executed under oath and filed with the court within 42 days. Also, that 42-day time period can also be filed with Max as well.
I apologize. Usually number 9, mental search.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
She executed the same.
Record shall reflect the same.
Your Honor,
Lieutenant, is that doable at the county jail?
Gotta do.
Your Honor. You said Friday at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m.? 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Mr. Rukowski.
question for the court, restitution. Can the court have that due in 3 years? And then if it's not due, at least we have the review to come back to see where we're at on things.
That's a good idea. I'm going to order that as well.
So 3 years from
Payable
today.
in 30.
Or
3 years
roughly.
from today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We'll see where we're at with this. That'll be on. Off the record.
So Judge does raise a good point there. You know, Austin just said in the chat, she ripped off the city and gets weekend jail and 5-year probation. Yeah, but in the same respect, he's got a good point about the money end of things. If she's got these health issues that have to be dealt with and he puts her away for a significant amount of time, then the taxpayers are going to end up footing the bill for that health care. So it's one of these things where you got to weigh it out. Not a good situation all around, though, and obviously not a good person. So there's that. You know, there's a real tension here between accountability and the practical cost of how that accountability is carried out. I thought the court tried to balance it pretty well, but let me know your thoughts in the comments before you go. And if you enjoyed this video, no sense in leaving, check out one of the 2 that are on your screen right now. Ellie and I thank you so much for watching.